Welcome everybody to this very special edition of Tobs Talk. Today is going to be our Bark in the Park promotion, and if you couldn't tell, I've got my little, maybe not so furry friend Milo here. I'm Jake Donnelly. Tobs Talk is presented by Thomas Farris right here on Greenlight Channel 2. Well, the Tobs are rolling with 4 straight wins, which has made Milo pretty happy. Last night, the Tobs got revenge on their only loss of the season. The Tobs lost their home opener against the Peninsula Pilots, but last night up in Hampton, Virginia, the Tobs were able to complete a 5-4 victory. Tyler Watson started the game for the Tobs and actually went 5 2/3, allowing just 1 run. The Tobs had to use 3 other pitchers, and things got a little bit hairy in the 8th inning when the Pilots were able to load the bases in a 5-3 ball game. A ground ball induced by Braden Bristow to Jake Armstrong over at third base was actually thrown into right field. That made it 5-4. With 1 out and the Tobs just holding that 1-run lead. But Bristow was able to get out of the inning without any further damage and then was able to complete the victory for the Tobs in the bottom of the 9th inning, stranding a runner in scoring position at second base. As you can see, that kind of made Milo whine a little bit. But Tobs win their 4th in a row, a 5-4 victory. Tyler Watson picked up the victory, his 2nd of the season. Braden Bristow with the save picks up the Tobs' 1st save of the season. Doug Teagarden extended his RBI streak to 4 games, driving in 3, including a big 2-run double, which gave the Tobs a 5-1 lead. It was an error fest last night. The Tobs committed 4 errors. The Pilots committed 2. 6 errors total between the 2 teams, but the Tobs were able to eke out the victory. Today's game is going to be an exhibition game against the Carolina Pirates. A 5:05 start with gates opening at 4 o'clock. Milo here can't wait for that game to start. And so, hopefully, folks, we will see you there for our Bark in the Park promotion. We will have Justin Hay, head coach of the Tobs, when we come back. And unlike Milo, he's not whining about the Tobs' performances as of late. This is Tobs Talk right here on Greenlight Channel 2, presented by Thomas Farris. Welcome back, everybody, to this very special edition of Tobs Talk, presented by Thomas Farris, right here on Greenlight Channel 2. I'm Jake Donnelly. Thank you for tuning in. With me now is head coach of the Tobs, Justin Hay. Justin, always a pleasure to have you in here. And it's a pleasure to watch the Tobs as of late. They've won their last 4, getting revenge for their only loss of the season, the CPL opener against the Peninsula Pilots last night, going up to Hampton, Virginia, a 5-4 victory. The Tobs have won pretty much every way possible so far this season, pitching, hitting, some defense. Last night was kind of a combination of all 3 of those. What's working well? It's just really everything right now seems to be clicking.
Right now we're just finding ways to win. You know, last night our defense wasn't as crisp as it's been all season, but the other parts of our game picked it up. Our pitching and hitting rather kind of put us over the edge and picked that up and allowed us to have a few miscues on defense. But our defense still, at times when we needed it, still bailed us out of a few key situations.
And if you guys weren't able to listen up to the game last night, Tyler Watson picked up the win, and he was tremendous through 5 2/3. Looked like he was just mowing down Pilots batters, but in the 6th inning, kind of tired. The pitch that seemed to work, at least from my perspective, was that changeup. Was there anything else that he was doing that made him so effective last night against the Pilots?
Well, 3 pitches in the zone for strikes when you're a starter will put you deep into the game. He was down in the zone, changing speeds. You know, and just that really is what caused him to go deep into the game. You know, Tyler's got a changeup that probably makes his fastball look a little bit faster. I don't really have a speed on him from last night, but that changeup probably had to make the fastball look a little bit faster. And he was keeping it down in the zone and being able to throw all 3 for strikes at any part in the count really had the hitters kind of fooled.
And the Tobs used 4 pitchers last night, used 3 in the 8th inning when things kind of got a little bit hairy. But one of the first comments you made when you got back on the bus after the game was how nice it is to coach in the summer league right here, because you guys have just so many good arms. How do you decide who to go to?
Well, really in the summer league, you know, it's more about getting these guys work. So it's just really whose night is it to throw, and who's hot and who's live for the night. You know, we had Christian Slasnick who just joined us. I wanted to ease him into a game. So, you know, I went down there and told him, hey, you're going to get the left-hander. You know, he made a 3-1 pitch with first base open, and didn't give him a cookie and ended up walking him. But as I told him when I went to get him off the mound, that's a pretty good walk. I'm going to bring in the right-hander now. We're going to get the ground ball, get us out of the inning. So I was okay with that. So, I mean, the decision really is made prior to the game with who's live, and then we just kind of go with that depending on the situation. And the good thing is we've got a good mix of righties and lefties, so I can play matchup as we go forward.
And now moving back one game to Friday night's game against the Petersburg Generals here in Wilson. There was a big play in the 8th inning, what ended up being a double play thanks to an appeal. But Ben Schmucker, who has been doing some very good work at the plate, made by far the best play of the season, a diving catch in foul territory down the right field line. We were talking right before we came on air just how tremendous a play that was. And even more importantly, it came at a point in time when if that ball falls in fair territory or if the Petersburg Generals can get a hit in that situation, it's a completely different ball game. How important was that play?
Well, I guess I'd have a bases loaded, one out jam, so I'm going to say it was pretty important. Even though we were up a little bit, we had a guy on the mound who's not struggling with his command just a little bit, but he gave up a couple hits that really weren't on good pitches. And then, that happens sometimes in baseball. And I tell our pitchers all the time, attack the zone and let your defense work. And that's what he did. He threw a pitch, and the guy hit it. And I'm really not sure how long Ben was in the air, but it was a long time. Because when he took off, I thought, why is he already diving? He has no chance to get to this ball. And I guess he had a better read on it than I did because I know he caught it right at the peak of his dive. He timed it up well.
Yeah, it was one of the best plays. It ended up being a snow cone catch. And the pitcher who was on the mound at that point in time was Carson Jones. And Carson is going to be starting today, a 5:05 start against the Carolina Pirates, an exhibition game with gates opening at 4 o'clock. But Carson out of Faulkner University, a place where you have had a stop in your coaching career.
Well, I actually played there, too. It's my alma mater. I coached there my first season out of ball. I played 2 seasons there. So, yeah, Carson is from a place I know very well. So he's going to get the start today. He's going to do well for us. I'm excited to see him in a situation with, kind of a little less pressure than coming in late in the game.
Yep, and we'll see if the Tobs can make it 5 in a row. Of course, this one won't count towards the Coastal Plain League standings, but at the moment, the Tobs sit at 4-1 after losing their home opener in the CPL. They are on a roll. When we come back, we will have some furry friends with us. You're listening to Tobs Talk right here on Thomas and on Greenlight Channel 2, presented by Thomas and Farris. Welcome back, everybody, to this very special edition of Tobs Talk, presented by Thomas and Farris, right here on Greenlight Channel 2. No, I am not a Bond villain. I am Jake Donnelly, and this here, Mr. Fancy Pants, is Milo. Today's game will be our in the Park promotion. Game time is at 5:05. Gates open at 4 o'clock. It's an exhibition against the Carolina Pirates, and the Bark in the Park promotion is presented by the Maggie Society, which you can look up at maggiesociety.org. It's an adoption agency right here in Wilson, North Carolina, for dogs that are waiting to be adopted. Originally founded with the first dog, Maggie, hence the name, the Maggie Society. Milo is not an adoption dog. He is a lovely, lovely dog who apparently loves to give out kisses and is obviously not very discerning who he gives his kisses out to, because who would kiss this mug, right, Milo? Yeah, buddy. All right, well, back to business, folks. Game time at 5:05, an exhibition today against the Carolina Pirates. Gates open at 4 o'clock. I would like to extend my thanks to Coach Justin Hay of the Wilson Tobs for coming in. We'll see you there at Fleming Stadium, 5:05 start, 4 o'clock, gates open. Bark in the Park, bring your furry friends.